my juicy co-creators, Lilu here in the amazing, powerful, juicy, magical island of Kauai, and I'm sitting with a goddess. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be sitting next to Tiffany. Hi.
Hi, Lilu.
Hi, the world. We are here in this beautiful scenery. Isn't this gorgeous? I mean, I'm just so amazed. This is one of your power spots, isn't it? You love this place.
Yeah.
Why do you love it? More than its beauty, you know?
Well, it overlooks the Nepali coast, and for me, the Nepali coast represents walking through the veils. And so it's just a place where magic happens, synchronicity, things happen so quickly, and it helps you to be able to see yourself for who you really are, which is, you know, a magical divine being just on a human journey. So when I come up here, I feel so connected. The whales often swim out there, the dolphins swim there, and so it just brings me home to myself. And I read the Akashic Records, and the whales are the Akashic keepers. They're the record keepers throughout the whole planet, and so you can actually hear the whales when they're here during the winter. And so when I come up here, I just like to sing with them and connect and just be with nature, and it's a magical place.
I love your work that is all about reminding ourselves who we truly are. How do you see, who are we?
For me, I feel that human meets God man. The sound of he, you is the sound of God. And so for me, it's Hugh woman, or, you know, connected to that divine essence of creation. And so I see us as living co-creators. So, you know, you saying, you know, conscious co-creators, we are creating our own reality every day, and through thought became word, word became sound, and the earth was sung into creation. And so I feel that when we, you know, we have that power to create through that vibration, and so what are we putting out into the world through that sound? And so when people take responsibility and they really, you know, see themselves as those co-creators, the world around us changes, and, you know, we get more connected with nature and humanity, and we shift consciousness very quickly.
I know you use your voice to shift things in somebody's own field and life, and how do you explain that? Would you say that everything is sound in the universe that allows this transformation to occur through instruments and through voice, and how does this work?
Well, in a lot of the ancient traditions, I've had the wonderful, humbling experience to travel to different countries and to work with different master teachers and healers. And what I found was that the culmination of every tribe, every, you know, teacher, the basis of everything was sound. And every question that I asked was, you know, what takes us? And they said the earth was created through that sound and that frequency. And so as I started to do my research and I just started to be in presence with it, I was gifted with this voice that I didn't have before. And it was through traveling through the sacred sites and receiving these activations. And I see myself as like a divine child. So I had no conception that I couldn't do anything. And one day I was sitting up on a mountain, and I just started, you know, this goddess actually appeared to me, called herself the Shahina, and she had a dove, and she released it in my third eye, and these cosmic sounds came out. And she said, you're to travel and to activate, and this is what you've come to do. And I was like, okay. And the beauty of it is that I've met women and men from all over the world who've received very similar gifts. And I just feel connected, and I remember inside of me the beginning. I remember when we were the 144,000 souls that came together, these bright lights, and through the hum we created the earth. And so inside of me there is that remembrance, and so it's not something separate from myself, it's something that is part of that existence.
Tell us about what has allowed this remembrance to take place in your own life, because you had a pretty rough childhood, huh? You had some incidents that were pretty traumatizing, and yet in that moment you were fully open. So what has allowed you to be in that space, to be ready to be open regardless or with those traumatic experiences you had?
Well, I suffered from a lot of sexual abuse, and I really had a Magdalene complex. And so it was very deep, and I disassociated from a lot of things in my childhood. My connection with spirit didn't come until actually the age of 30. So I was living, the 2.5 kids, living in Vegas, very just not conscious at all. And one day I just woke up and I just started following that path. And as I started to delve into wanting to know the mysteries of life, why are we here? What's the purpose? I knew it wasn't to make money. I knew it wasn't to be a slave to society. I knew it wasn't, to be defined by all of that. And I feel like for me, the sound and the music, I heard the sound and the music, and that's what I followed because my heart felt pure. And inside, I never felt pure. But when the sound was around me and the music, it gave me that innocence once again. And so it felt like lullabies. And when I would hear the Hawaiian chanting, or I would hear the different indigenous people, Native Americans, or when I'd hear their chants, I would remember home. And then I would say, okay, I remember this, and I want to help humanity to remember this too. And so that was actually what really motivated me to get me going and on this path.
And where are you at when this music is playing and when your really divine voice is coming out? I mean, how do you completely let go and surrender to be in this space of really pure guidance and connection?
I'm completely in my body, and what I feel is just bliss. And sometimes I feel so much love that my eyes will be crying, and my heart and my soul will be so expanded, but I feel very present here. And what I love the most is to sing for somebody or for a group, or because then I feel our souls connecting together. And so I feel like I'm everything and nothing all at the same time. I'm nature, I'm the wind, and that's what I do, is I emulate all of that, and I become one with that expression. And it feels like oneness. That's what and that's why I encourage people to sing and to allow their voice to express, because the only thing that like a lot of people say, like, oh, you're so gifted and this happened. The only thing that is different is that I actually listened. And I just opened my mouth and I allowed these sounds, because at first they're very weird. They're very different. And I didn't have any understanding of where they were coming from. I didn't know that, Tuvan throat singers or Tibetan monks sang like this. I didn't understand Hawaiian chanting. I was very sheltered. I didn't know any of this stuff. And so I just trusted that part of myself. And as I said yes, the journey unfolded, and the teachers came to say, oh yes, that's chanting of, ancient Hawaiian, or yes, that's what the, Tuvan throat singers do, or that. And I was like, oh, okay. So we have it all inside of us. It's just most of the times our minds are so in that place of not wanting to allow us to express our divine nature, which can heal anything. I mean, it's really what it is it puts back into right relationship. So if something is out of tune, when we harmonize it and we retune it, it's like tuning a guitar or a harp. We're just bringing back in that resonance into a flow. It's love. It's the pure essence of love that's, coming through a harmonic.
So in a session, you have this way of tuning in somebody's emotional structure that might be stuck, or some things that might be stuck, and you tune in through your voice, and then you open that up. Your voice and the instrument would help break that and let go of that. How does this work?
Well, what I call it is sonic alchemy. And so in sonic alchemy, I'm a seer, so I can see inside of people like dense energies or crystallized fields. And so they show me, like, okay, over here the heart, and then I'll see like maybe some trauma that was experienced, or a thought form or a belief system, and then I just allow the divine to flow through me, and I send through a harmonic. So it may be, it may be a rattle that needs to break up some energy. It may need a didgeridoo that needs to come in and, move something. Or it's just the sound of my voice. I can go somewhere and the interesting thing is, Lilu, the fun thing with just letting go, when I've, sometimes I haven't had instruments and Spirit will say, this person, could really use some love. And all of a sudden I'll be playing the drums on my chest, my voice will shift, things will happen, and all this stuff occurs, and I'm just like, where did that come from? So everything has a different harmonic that moves energies, and I was very fortunate to be around many different types of people. Like the Korean shaman that I worked with, she used a gong, and she would just, and for me I was like, just hearing that gong, but all of the different layers and levels of harmonics would just break up things. And, I would see rashes. One woman, her baby had this rash that was all over the baby's body. And as she was singing, it just started to dissipate right in front of your eyes. So it literally changes the cellular structure just in that moment.
I love how you picked bits and pieces in different places around the world and in different communities, and you made something of your own. You're following your own path, and that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, I feel like we are these rainbow children, and we've had these many lifetimes that we've experienced. And like you were saying when you were coming up here, that you feel like you've been here before and you lived here, and that's how I felt everywhere I went. If I was in Egypt, they said, oh, you're Egyptian. If I was in Brazil, they, thought I was Brazilian. And I feel inside of my heart, I'm a child of the earth. Mm-hmm. And everywhere I go, I'm home. And so in that, it was like, what is the vibration of the land? Because that's really what it is that sings through the people, is the frequency that runs through the land. And when your heart connects to that part of the earth, you become that in your essence. The main theme, I'm Native American, I have Native American, and the main theme for me obviously is Native American, but I feel all the other cultures, when they melt into sound.
Uh-huh. What's Native American?
I have Tigua, Indian, and Apache. Oh. Yeah, and it's interesting because the Apache, they sing the heart songs. And I never knew this because my family, my grandfather didn't allow us to be connected to that part of our lineage. And so it was my father, before he passed away, he actually went and did a lineage search and found this through. And when all this started to come through me, I would ask, well, who is this guide? And it was my grandmother. And she was the one that was teaching me all this from the other side, and chants and songs and drumming. And, it wasn't like I had any, it was very strange for me to just get that message and just know that I could do that.
What is the message of the earth right now? What do you feel is what is Mother Earth telling us, to all of us, anywhere around the world at this point in history?
What I feel she's saying, I feel the polarity shift that's occurring, and I feel that she's saying, feel. Feel, this is why you've come here. You've come here to experience being in a human body, to experience seeing the beauty, and to truly be here now. And so in order to, we have to activate all of our senses and really be here. And I really feel that we are awakening to much more than the density that we've been living. And so when we can just be in presence with, just feeling like the sea salt air on our body, and, taking in the sensation of what the flowers smell like, and just really being present, because this may not be here, forever for us in this way. Things may transform and shift as they always do. And so if we can really be in presence with this and enjoy it, that we're really going to be truly understanding of what this experience is in this reality. And I feel like, we're going through these ebbs and flows and these highs and lows, and shift is here and it's happening. And the only way that we can move through it is to acknowledge our feelings and really connect, not be lost in the feelings, but just connect with them and then let them wash away, just like the ocean, just passing through us and being in presence. Because we're trying to figure out mentally, You know, what do we do? Where do we go? How do we this? You know, which puts us in survival. But when we feel, we listen to her, and she says to us, you know, does this make you feel good? You know, how do you feel in this moment? And when we're in that feeling, we naturally gravitate towards the food, the shelter, you know, everything that we need is provided for us, because we're in that connection with her and with her abundance. And when I moved here, I just looked around, and it was just like at times I remember like I didn't have any money, and there was food everywhere. But, you know, we lived in this world where there was, you know, mine, you know, like these, you know, this is mine, and this is my yard, and this is this and that. And I started to see like we were missing the feeling, you know, and our children are starving, and, you know, there's things that are happening in this world. And if we feel the compassion and the love and the heart, and we actually start to feel, and we aren't in this mental, you know, how much more can I make, and, you know, hoard and conserve, you know, then we go into that place of really recognizing like, oh my goodness, I can't allow this anymore. My heart will not allow this to happen, because every child is my child, you know, every woman is my beloved, every man is my beloved. And, you know, we get into this more loving world. So I feel like that's what she wants us to experience and know, so we can unite, so that as she goes through these shifts and we go through these shifts, we love each other through them, and we connect. So
I cannot wait to hear you sing, and I'm sure everybody watching right now feels the same. We're all like on the edge of the seat to hear this divine voice come out of you. Would you accept?
Sure, yes, of course. Okay.
Awesome.
Tairege mbashre nerengyaye ureng nairi mayango siriyayere
Thank you for this journey.
You're welcome.
How was it for you?
It was really good. It was interesting. I've been going through different frequencies, And so the other night I had an amazing experience. The sound actually came through a dove that was released in my third eye, so it has that warble of a dove. And the other night I was clearing my field, because that's what it does, is it clears the field, and it's like being embodied in a flower of life, the concentric circles of a flower of life. And so I had the golden spiral, and I was clearing my field, and it was in the middle of the night. It was probably about 9 o'clock. And when I stopped singing, I could hear an echo. And I thought, that's really strange. And I went to get my friend, and she came in, and I said, can you hear this? It didn't stop. Like, it kept echoing, and it would echo my song, and then it would stop, and then it would echo again, and then again. And this happened pretty much most of the night, and I realized it was the doves that were outside. And I couldn't believe how it was like an echo. And I realized in that moment, when I received my voice, when this star being showed me what it was, she said to me that we are going through, the times of mourning. And so the mourning dove is that sound and that frequency. It's the dawn of a new day, but it's still the ending of what is being let go of. And so, although, when we hear the morning dove, we know that it's a new morning, but we're moving through the shadow of the past. And so that's the feeling that I get sometimes, is the feeling of thank you so much for the experience that I, the duality and the polarity of the deepest of the darkest, so that I can truly know what love and bliss and peace and joy really are. And that's what it feels like in my heart, in that awakening. So that's what I feel.
Beautiful, beautiful. Juicy or what? Juicy or juicy? Oh my goodness, this was so amazing. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you so much for this delicious, precious, divine moment and encounter. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's such a blessing to be here with you. I'm so excited. A lot of my friends are like, Lilu, and they're sending me your videos and everything. You got to see Lilu, she's in Kauai. So I feel so blessed to be here, and humble, and just so grateful. Thank you for coming to our island and sharing the many beautiful beings that are here doing so much wonderful work. So grateful.
Thank you. And thank you to you guys for sharing the juice. Thank you. Sending you much, much love from beautiful Kauai. Blessing.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.